Happy Monday, everyone. And this is the key question. Where is crypto going second half of 2025? Halfway through 2025, and for the first time ever, we had a Bitcoin high on a weekly average. So it held that price for the whole week. This got analysts a little bit bullish with targets of 230,000 by the end of 2025. But the blended AI average amongst all analysts say about $175,000 to $180,000, which is still close to 40-50% upside from here. But however, if there's an alt season, Solana will see an eye-popping 2,800% gain from today's price. The basis here is the cup and handles that's been forming throughout a multi-year period. But in reality, as it has done so far this year, Bitcoin dominance has kept all altcoins in check. Nothing is outperforming Bitcoin. I can't tell you the future, but right now the markets are befuddled is the word I like to use, because TradFi has stolen the crypto spotlight. And here's what I mean. Robinhood is launching their own chain of Arbitrum. They're bringing tokenized stocks through that platform, and it will allow for withdrawal for people to do DeFi with them, which flips traditional markets on its head, because do you really need traditional IPO methodology if you could instantly swap Fartcoin for a Tesla stock? Through crypto mechanisms, you can seemingly find liquidity anywhere, and with the crypto degenerates out there, you know they will be swapping, especially if they give them sweet DeFi yields of 3,000%. You know what I'm talking about, you loopers out there. It will be interesting to see where all the TradFi stock liquidity will flow once it comes on chain. That's something that we can keep an eye on. But until then, everyone's still on the Bitcoin train. Strategy raised another $4 billion. I know it's old news, but why are more companies deploying the strategy? And that's because strategy is sitting on gains of $14 billion. No products, no customer service, no insurance needed, no lawsuits, just $14 billion, a sweet profit for holding an asset. I, for one, would like to see the Bitcoin train go to the moon so that when alt season really happens, it is going to be truly a magnificent one. I have patience, y'all. And if you didn't know, Elon Musk announced a new American party, one that would be backed by crypto, because as Elon says, and I quote, "Fiat is hopeless, so yes, Bitcoin will be accepted everywhere." And because Elon was the face of Doge before it became a government thing, which is actually a meme coin, bring it back to the meme coin world, Dogecoin and the Solana ecosystem completely popped after Elon's announcement. Bitcoin stayed flat, and that's because mega whales, which has been the story of this whole last week, have been moving millions, if not billions of dollars. There was one example last week of someone selling $1,500 worth of Bitcoin that they bought that is worth $1 billion. And just on July 4th, another $4 billion was moved from OG whales. They're cashing out, and I ain't mad at them. And maybe, just maybe, these whales rotated into Bonk meme coin ecosystem, as Bonk moved up 25% on a day and 55% on a week. There was so much activity not only on Bonk, but Bonk's meme coin launchpad that they actually flipped pump fund throughout the long weekend. We actually made a call on the meme coin launch through Bonk last week, so our community members are winning on that one. If you want to see what the hoopla is, then click on the link down below to take a sneak peek inside what we're trading on the daily. And lastly, there was a lot of big news causing Pengu price to increase 60% on the week, and that's because Canary Capital proposed a NFT and meme coin ETF. But what does that really mean? And here's the nitty gritty. They're going to hold 80 to 90% of the Pengu meme coin and only 5 to 15% of the actual NFTs. Canary Capital argues that this gives broad exposure to people like me and you who wants to participate in the NFT movement but don't want the risk volatility of holding private keys. This is a great sign for anyone holding Pudgy Penguin NFTs specifically, and of course the meme coin, but because the NFTs will be held inside ownership by this ETF and held in a multi-sig wallet. A lot of things need to happen for this ETF to be pushed through, but the bullish price movement of 60% up on a coin that was already $500-600 million market cap is great signs for appetite out there in the market. And if you watch this far, there has been some NFT sales that are quite massive. A $330,000 Skull of Lucy sale. Not the first one, the second to be exact. Many are asking for an NFT season to be brought back to life, and I don't hate that move, as we will see an onboarding from major brands using all crypto technologies. It's never been more important to get the signal from the noise, because there is a ton of noise as everyone is coming on board. And we're going to break it down for those who join us on a weekly basis. Click on the link down below to join our private community. If not, subscribe and follow along. We got 3 weekly updates, amazing podcast guests, and a weekly rundown for y'all. Stay safe out there. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.